In this video, I decided to join a pay-to-win Minecraft server to see is it possible to become one of the richest players without paying a single cent of real-life money. Right now, a lot of the monetization and creating pay-to-win servers just ruins the experience of the game, and that's especially true in Skyblock, where it used to be that you built farms and eventually upgraded those cool farms like cactus, sugarcane. You had to build a bunch of different farms, and you felt like you were actually doing something, and at the end you had a cool island with a bunch of different things that made you money. But now it's basically you pay money and you watch a spawner go for a few hours, and there's basically no game there. So I decided to join one of the first Skyblock servers I saw on one of the Minecraft server advertisement pages and see what it was like, because maybe it's not that bad, who knows. Also, according to YouTube, only 5% of you are subscribed, so if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe, and let's get back to the video. I was immediately given $55 billion just for joining the server. I didn't do anything to earn it. So I started off like you do on any Skyblock server by building a little platform and starting off with seeing what the most profitable farms were and stuff, but the problem here is that usually the fun of Skyblock is by starting off with small, not very profitable farms and eventually going into big farms that are profitable, and you have to like constantly maintain them and build them and stuff, so there's stuff to do. But on this server, if you're given $55 billion, obviously you're just going to build a spawner farm. So that's what I did. I built an iron golem farm, just like how I usually do. And so after building the iron golem spawner, I decided to look around the server to see if there was anything worth doing that might be not mind-numbingly boring and just basically being AFK. So I went to the mine shaft, which is basically like Hypixel's mine shaft, and there were some zombies in there, and I quickly killed them, although they were a little bit more difficult than I anticipated. And I made a total of $200,000 from my short time there, which might sound impressive, but again, it's really just not worth your time at all, and the only thing that might have possibly been fun just isn't worth it at all, because you can make more money just killing mobs on your island and they don't move, you don't have to fight them, you don't have to be there on your computer doing something. So what's the point of the mine shaft at all? There basically is none. And so I went back to my island, and after some asking around, I realized that blaze grinders were the most profitable thing that you could do. So I built a blaze grinder, which I did not have to do, I later realized, because you can just place the spawners on the ground and they'll just spawn there and not move or attack or anything. So there really is no point to do anything at all, but I still built it and I started killing blazes for a long time. Now, the reason that blazes are profitable is from something called grind keys, which you randomly get every so often from killing blazes. Now, blaze keys aren't that good, but they do have a really good drop, which is coins. They give you a ton of coins for opening them, and if you gain enough coins, you can eventually buy them, but realistically, it would take thousands of hours of just sitting there clicking or having an auto clicker run to get anything good, and the only players that the coins actually give something to is the richest players in the server, once again, which is just so insane. So the only way that you can do anything on the server that isn't just killing blazes for hundreds of hours is by buying items. I started to grind the blazes, and luckily the blaze grinder I built wasn't completely useless because it put the blazes in a good spot for me to kill them. And after a few hours of grinding, I got my first stroke of good luck, which was a key all, which means that they're going to give me a bunch of play to win keys, which you can only really get by paying money. And they do this once every day on the server, just at a random time, so the pories like me can get some items just by playing. On basically all of these servers, the keys work really similarly to something like roulette wheels and are basically just gambling, which admittedly they really suck you in and make you want to keep opening them, but when you can't really get them by just playing the game unless you're on 24/7, and even then it's a really small amount, you're pushed to like scratch that gambling itch, which is really dangerous when your player base is mostly kids who can really easily develop a gambling addiction, and it can get really bad where they're stealing tons of money from their mom's credit card and putting it into these games, which is how they make a lot of their money. But actually, while opening the keys, I got absurdly lucky, and I got this thing called a Titus boss egg, which I got totally ripped off for. I sold it for 1 million, but it's probably worth more like 5 million coins. And then I turned that 1 million coins into 5 trillion coins by selling them to, I think it was the richest player on the server, who just buys tons of coins and just advertises that he's buying coins all day. So after a grueling 15 hours of playtime on this server, almost entirely spent doing the most profitable thing for a free-to-player to do, I actually ended up on Baltop as the 10th highest balance, which was my end goal. But honestly, I made nothing compared to the top players who hold most of their wealth in their island bank or in spawners. And when comparing myself to the richest player, who was the guy constantly advertising that he was selling in-game money for real-life money, it's not even close. If I was able to make my final balance every hour, which is a really short amount of time, it would take me 500 hours to make the same amount of money that he has. And he probably has tons of money in spawners and in his island bank. So it's really not possible to make money on a pay-to-win server without paying some amount of real-life money. And even then, it probably has to be a pretty high amount of real-life money if you want to have a good competitive edge and have any amount of fun. Now, going into this, I really did think that I had some sort of a grasp on what it was going to be like. I knew it was going to be unfair, I knew it was going to be a little bit grindy, and I knew that it was going to be super pay-to-win. But I didn't think it wouldn't just be like skyblock. It's not skyblock. I don't even know how they can call this skyblock, because it is just cookie clicker. It is just cookie clicker in Minecraft, and is so mind-numbingly boring that it is literally painful to play. And I was waiting for it to be over every single second. I had to actively be on my computer. Outside of opening keys, there's really no reason I would see to play this server unless you want to like build farms that really have no point and basically playing creative but with a few aspects of skyblock mixed in. Like, this server is not fun. Now, this does have a happy ending. I was able to find the server setups test server, which is basically they bought a pre-made setup of code, a bunch of plugins and stuff to make their server, and then they had some people tweak it a little bit to make it custom. And I found the test IP of that server, and it's actually live right now, and it has a max limit of 100 players. It's super fun. It's not pay to win at all. It's normal skyblock. It's back to the way it was a long time ago, and I'm actually going to be doing a 100 days on this test server as my next 100 days video. So if you guys want to stay tuned for that, be sure to subscribe. And that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like it, be sure to give it a like. Peace.